Last year in Ruhpolding. That's a real shame for Lindstrom. He is medal potential here today, but that's expensive mistakes from him. So 80% hit rate on the day. Here we go with Terje Bo, and the Norwegian fans enjoying the fact that his time is good. Andy Bernbacher hit his last target at 8:08. They're pretty much neck and neck. Absolutely neck and neck. Again, that slightly raised foresight. Mike, do you want to explain why they've gone for that, the Norwegians?
It's you have to, when you raise the foresight, you must raise the rear sight as well. And it just gives a better feel in the stand position. Basically, you don't have to crouch down. It's mainly for the stand position. You don't have to extend your neck quite as far.
Jaroslav Sukup. Is he going to add to his medal tally today? He's just 5 or 6 seconds maybe. In fact, not even that. He's 2 seconds at the most behind the race leaders at the moment. Terje Bo leads for Norway. Sukup goes clear. Mike, he's come to form so quickly. It's a phenomenal comeback. We talked about his injury many times, but to get back to this level, 5 seconds outside the best, it's a fantastic effort.
I watched him for 18 days on the glacier at 2,700 meters, and with no tension, with no fear. He had no expectations. He was just endlessly skiing with no ski poles, only working his legs. He kept his mind calm. He kept training, and he said, well, if my arms work later, they work. If they don't, at least I'm trying. And then he built the strength in his arms. He's quite an amazing person. Very calm, very controlled, and doesn't really feel the stress or the pressure.
Benny Vega doesn't have too many expectations on him, apart from the fact that he's the Swiss #1. He won a World Cup last year and showed a lot of promise. A little inconsistent this year, but he starts with 4 out of 5 now. Andy Bernbacher on the range for Germany. He's shooting on lane 17 he's on.
17 it is.
And can just about see his targets.
He's missed one.
I think he's missed the first one. He has.
Oh, you would not expect that from Andy.
Oh, so 2 misses. It's exactly the same story as Ruhpolding last year, except the order of the misses wasn't quite the same. 2 more misses, another 25 seconds. In fact, we'll try and time Bernbacher round the penalty loop. Away he goes.
Just as he's going round, Fourcade is, well, he's coming in soon, but he's set the fastest time at 2.3 kilometers.
Shortly to be beaten by Emil Hegler Svensson by 2.4. So that duel is developing already in the early stages of this race. Here's Derry Zemlier of Ukraine. Now, he had a bad mixed relay. He could do with hitting the targets today. Outside the hotel this morning, doing about 50 press-ups. I was slightly confused at that, but nice way to wake up. 5 out of 5, much better from Derry Zemlier, and only 10 seconds or so slower than the best so far.
This is a great day for Derry Zemlier. He's got the 3rd fastest time on the track, and he's only 3 seconds behind Svensson and 0.6 of a second behind Fourcade. So wouldn't that be a great story if he could come back? He hasn't had a win since, well, 10 years ago, Derry Zemlier.
Now, the defending champion, Martin Fourcade, remember 3 golds in Ruhpolding last year. He says he just wants 1 this year. That's, I think, a way of playing down his own expectations. He knows if he shoots well, he could clean up.
Look how accurate he is. The fall of the shot, well, apart from that one, was central.
A little bit lucky with 4, but number 5 is bang in the middle again, and the time is absolutely sensational. 6 seconds up on Terje Bo. How quick is he coming out of the stadium? Even better, 10 seconds the margin. Martin Fourcade has started in the best possible fashion in the defence of his title from last year. What a phenomenal athlete he is. He looks strong in the mixed relay, but all the time, Mike, he looks relaxed. He looks as though he's got things under control. And here's his teammate, Jean-Guillaume Beatrix.
Yeah, you mentioned Fourcade. Outstanding, and for me, he's one of the greatest ever. I know he hasn't the titles likes of Björn Dahlin, but he's brilliant.
Well, we haven't seen much of the Italians, but here is their #1, Lukas Hofer, who had a pretty good race in the mixed relay, Italy finishing in 4th, which they certainly would have settled for before the race, and in fact they weren't far off the 3rd place that was taken by the Czech Republic, and Lukáš Hofer was the man really who put them into contention.
He was, and look at the intensity. I think Hofer's going to set the fastest, certainly at 1 kilometre, certainly at 2.3. I think Hofer is going to be in the top 3 fastest ski time today, but he needs to hit 90% if he wants a medal.
Well, Svensson needs to hit 100% if he wants the gold, because his nemesis has gone clear. Fourcade is out of the stadium, leads the way with that time of 8:09. Svensson is fractionally quicker. He's gone for a little adjustment. Was that 1 click or 2?
I thought that was 2 or maybe even 3. The flags are being a little kind to him. Then you can see, you mentioned his foresight, it's been raised up. The rear sight is on a block, it's been raised up as well.
That's good shooting. Very good shooting from Svensson. Number 3 was a little bit close to the line, but Andersen likes it, and the Norwegians are in contention at the moment. 8:09 is going to be bettered, not by much, 3.1 seconds the margin. Certainly neither of the top 2 men can afford mistakes today if they want to take that gold medal, but Martin Fourcade will get the news that Svensson is on his back.
He certainly is. Svensson wasn't over delighted with his performance, the gold medal performance in the team relay. He didn't quite feel his form was where he wanted it to be, but, well, today it's looking great.
Well, delighted with the gold medal, certainly, but he didn't feel his ski form was 100%. But he was quick enough, Mike. He didn't let Fourcade close too much. He skied a steady race. He didn't have to do anything else but just to ski steady.
I think when you're Svensson and Fourcade, you want perfection every time, and you question yourself if you don't produce that perfection.
Now, this man is about as close as you get to perfection in the prone position. 95% hit rate for Ustigov this season. Just about to go up to 96. Excellent, excellent, and it's very quick as well. He's not far off the leaders. He'll certainly be within 10 seconds of the lead. Anton Shapulin, will he go clear on the stand? He does, and that puts him into a very strong position. 16:50 should be equal by Krasimir Anev. Has Anev gone 10 with 10? I think he must have done. We'll just update you on the second shoot.
He normally does. Yep, 10 out of 10 for Anev.
So Shapulin quicker over the snow and should be able to take the lead when he comes across the line. Lindström with those 2 misses will not be happy. 24:03 is a good time, but we're expecting a winning time of closer to 23 minutes today, maybe even 22:50.
I reckon you're in there, 22:55 maybe. But it needs to be 10 out of 10 to achieve that.
So with Lindström missing, the Swedes now hoping that Bjorn Ferry and Carl-Johan Bergman can do the business on the range. Here we go with Alexei Berth. Now, he looked in fantastic shape 2 days ago in the mixed relay.
Remember, he put an incredible first lap time in, or over the 2.5 as it was then, and I think he suffered later because of that.
Yeah, I think he's controlled himself on this first lap, Mike.
Interesting, he's pulled his sights, so I can understand why the flags have dropped right off, so he's pulled his sights the other way. Effectively, the fall of the shot now should move further to the right. He was accounting for the wind from the left.
And still the flags are steady, and it pays dividends. So good shooting from Berth. It would have been nice to see the close-up on that one. 0 for him, and the time will be some 10 seconds outside the leaders. As Terje Boe goes through his second shoot, there's the first miss for the Norwegian. Slightly uncomfortable looking position for Terje Boe, and number 5 has cost him a chance of a medal. 2 penalty loops, some 45 to 50 seconds he'll spend before he's back out on the tracks, and his time will get nowhere near Krasimir Anev of 16:50. Shapulin on 16:57 should be able to overtake Anev on the last lap. Sukup, now this would be sensational if he went clear.
You can see his left hand, the rifle stock has been built in to fit his fingers to pull the rifle into his shoulder gently.
Well, he'll never have competed in front of 20,000 of his own fans. 4 and 5.
Andre Rybar is, he thought this amazing journey was going to come to a great conclusion.
It would have been a dream start, but now they have to hope that Mikael Schlesinger can do something, and he's certainly capable of that. And Moravec, of course, who took the last leg in the mixed relay. So 2 penalties, just the same as Terje Bo.
Welcome back. Andy Birnbacher just crossing the line. You can see his shooting score 0 in the pro and 2 in the stand, and 46 seconds behind. Take away those 2 penalties, it would have been a new lead time for certain. Landetinger, well, he's not going to beat Lindström's time, and missing 1 target, just losing some of his great form that he had prior to these World Championships. 20 seconds behind. So it's certainly not an Austrian day. I don't think that time is going to be good enough to keep him in the silver medal position.
So, Martin Fourcade. 5 out of 5 in the prone. So far, the perfect attempt to defend his title. These are the hardest 2 shots. Well, that could prove expensive. You can see the frustration on Fourcade's face. Now he has to ski like the wind if he wants the goal today. Simon Schemp, 2 mistakes in the stand, and everyone's starting to suffer, partly due to the pressure of the World Championships, and partly due to the course, which is, as you said early on, Mike, it's easy to ski steady, but it's very hard to race.
It is, and the timings that we're seeing out on the track, there's quite a lot of close ski timings, so it's not at the best are not able to separate a huge amount of time from the athletes prior to these championships who were...
Well, this is a quick lap from Martin Fourcade, and despite the fact that he's done a penalty, he is still 9.4 seconds clear of everyone else. That is a sensational time, but he'll need to push and push and push, because Svensson has yet to come in for his second shoot. Svensson started exactly 2 minutes after Martin Fourcade. Lukas Hofer keeps his hopes alive. That is quick. It's very quick from Lukas Hofer. What will the time be? 8:06 to beat. He's got a little way to go. He's only going to be some 4 or 5 seconds outside, and if he goes clear in the stand and Svensson misses, then there is a chance for Italy to take what would be a very rare gold.
That would be an amazing story. Svensson out on the track at 5.8 kilometers. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of Fourcade's time.
I think Svensson coming in to shoot now along past lane 25. I think he's gone for something like lane 24.
Fourcade shot on lane 29 or 28 it was, in fact.
The wind is quite strong, left to right. Anef across the line, 10.3 outside the time set by Lindström. No real surprise there. The first, Svensson, I think, has a miss. He's hit 4 out of 5, if I'm looking at the right target. We'll get you updated on that. He has, so the same time as Martin Fourcade. It is all about the last loop. 16:41 from Fourcade. A penalty loop to pay for Svensson to try and beat his great rival from France. Away he goes, takes the first corner. It's still very, very quick. We'll track Svensson round his last loop as we see Anton Chapulin coming in to finish. 9 out of 10. And 24.03 is going to be well beaten, so we have a new leader here, and it's the Russians with Chapulin. 5.1 inside, and Russia needs some good news after their disaster in the mixed relay. A penalty loop from Malishko, putting them out of contention for the medals, and they were bitterly disappointed.
They were. Their only expectations was a medal. I'm looking at Svensson now, and it looks like his expectations have risen. He's 10 seconds ahead of Fourcade after the penalty loop.
Yeah, shooting very fast. He was about 3 or 4 seconds quicker than Fourcade to get the first target down, and that's an easy way to gain time, but a risky way.
It is, but advantage Svensson because he started only 4 positions behind Fourcade, so getting all the split timings.
Ustikov knows his chances have gone of winning. All the athletes well informed on the way around the course as to where they stand. Most coaches giving them positions relative to their team members, but certainly Fourcade will only be interested in what Svensson's up to and if anyone else is getting close. Quite difficult for Fourcade, Mike, starting 2 minutes ahead of Svensson. Do you think